one time I saw a clown and me and the clown had the same hair and I didn't like it.
Oh no, not the
Well,
clown.
then I read history about how clowns are like their hair and stuff is to make basically making fun of black people, which
Mm.
is not surprising because like
It's not surprising at all.
no, no,
What are we surprised by?
nothing.
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. Nothing. Okay, well, welcome to the IBW.
Hello.
Um, I'm so happy to have Jessica. Jessica, I've interviewed Jessica way in the beginning. Like one of my first, like probably top 10 first, like whatever. Jessica was the first interview I had that was popping.
I'm an
That
IBW OG.
OG.
I'm an
Oh,
OG.
that was the first interview that I was like, yo, this one getting hits. This is getting hits. It was the first popping one. It was you, Jessica.
Oh, that's so great. It
Yeah.
was you. You asked the right questions. You pull the right information out of
Well, you
me.
pushed it. You were
I don't know
pushing
how
it
you do it.
on your social media. Well, I was gonna ask you like what your name is, but I've said your name 50 times. So you're just gonna say it
Okay.
again. You're just gonna
I
say it again.
mean,
'Cause I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this from now on. So first question, what is your name and how do you identify racially?
ooh, my name is Jessica Van Klein, and I identify as an African American with Haitian and French ancestry.
Okay. I figured that was a good question to add because I had so many girls that were like mixed race. Some of them don't fully just say I'm black. They'll say I'm black and or they'll identify as black and white or whatever. It's just interesting to hear like how everyone, you know, categorize themselves.
Yeah, I'm blackety black, black, black.
Yeah,
My
you gotta
dad is
you gotta
black. My
be bold.
mom is black.
Yeah.
The ethnic part of our heritage is way down the line. It just carried through to where a lot of us present. Almost everyone on my mom's side presents as mixed. You might think we have one white parent, but our parents are black, very black.
Yeah, you gotta have some black in you to be on this podcast.
Okay, yes,
Okay,
I
so
got more than enough.
yeah, you black enough. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with the hard-hitting first question.
Ooh.
Who was your childhood crush?
Oh, my childhood crush. I remember being in diapers. I spoke really early. So I've been talking since I've been talking. Like, I don't know when it started. I just know that I started early and I never stopped. I would watch Video Soul with Donnie Simpson, the VJ.
Oh my God,
Donnie
on
Simpson,
BET?
BET back in the day. My grandmother has pictures of me sitting in front of those little block TVs on the ground with the little knobs, just like this, staring, drooling as a child. And it carried into, you know how people talk about like what's your type when you're older? I was a sucker for men with different color eyes. Like if you had light
Yeah.
eyes, naturally different color eyes, but like a peanut butter brown skin tone, I was like, oh, you're mine. You're mine. And it started with Donnie Simpson.
That's hilarious. I would have never, nope, I would have never thought that that's what you would have given me.
Yeah, Donnie Simpson.
You
That
were a
was my
little,
childhood crush.
you were a fast baby.
Okay, I was a fast baby. I said, ooh, I like, know what it is I've always been like, I my sense of sight is like everything to me. So I'm always looking for something that's aesthetically pleasing. And it was even when I was a child, I kind of
Donnie
had
was,
that. Yeah.
he was very smooth too. Like if
Very,
I remember, I haven't looked at something of him in so long, but he was just always just, he's felt very chill. Like, oh,
very masculine, very calm
yeah,
energy. Oh
yeah.
yeah. Love it. All of it.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Okay. Next question. How have you survived white spaces?
Surviving white spaces.
Or managed, maybe wording
So
is more like how have you like managed within white spaces? Or
yeah,
like
because what I
what
was
it's
gonna
like,
say,
yeah.
well, what I was gonna say is the word surviving struck me similarly to when people talk about healing,
Mhm.
how like you're never fully there. You're consistently picking up additional skills to make it work. That's what I feel about being in white spaces and successfully retaining my worth as a Black American my esteem in self, and just my confidence that changes can come. I think that it's a process. So what I have done, I didn't start out this way, but this is how I am now. I go into a white space presenting the version of me that I want them to get and accept. So it's basically like I force acceptance upon the space that I'm in. I'm going to start off how I want you to expect me to show up every time. In my younger years, I would show up in a way that I thought they would accept, giving them the ownership to decide who I am and what I do. And now I retain that ownership. So I show up how I am. I will leave the ing off of lots of words on work calls, just so you know. It's not all polished and proper. I am myself. I don't change my tone of voice either. I have an inflection. I grew up in the South, but primarily, but I was an Army kid. So I picked up different dialects and pronunciations of words. I bring all that to the table. I don't structure it. I no longer have a white voice. I just bring me, and then you got to accept it or not. But like I said, that's not how I was. It came from me picking up tools and confidence along the way to be able to walk that out. So that's how I survive, is entering in how I want you to know me.
Yes. That's so I was like, maybe this word survive is too strong, but no, it feels like that.
Yeah.
You're like trying to like navigate just like white supremacy. I guess that's the best way to like put it. Like trying to like still be it's hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
survive. But I've never heard that. That's really good. You present how you're gonna just from the beginning.
Yeah.
You
That's
don't
it.
you don't code switch on them. You just let them from the beginning.
And you know what? Let's talk about that. Code switching.
Yeah.
How could I survive being two completely different people?
We do it all the time. We've survived
Mm.
slavery.
But I think about survival. Survival has a certain connotation that people think of, like if you've survived something, like you're getting to the other side of it.
Yeah.
But can I bring both pieces of me and survive? Or is one of the pieces holding me back from ever having the potential of reaching that state of surviving?
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. It's very deep. I actually don't even know how I don't even know how to like how I would answer that. That's a really hard question. I mean, honestly, I personally feel like we know how to manage tons of versions of ourselves. Do
Right.
I necessarily think that's healthy? No, I think it's just a survival mechanism. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I've had conversations with my mom where, you know, she'll talk about like maybe it's like my generation's fault or my fault because I've like not spoken up about certain things in white settings and I told my mom, I was like, no, like you were just doing what you were taught and how you were taught to survive because like really we just want to go in these places, get in, get out without like dealing with BS. So here's
Mhm.
another fun question.
Yeah.
What is the last weird question, dumb question, or whatever question you've gotten from someone concerning your blackness, or just like something that specifically like a question about something that has to do with me being black? I'll go first. I
Yeah,
guy
please.
at my and this one we've heard like all the time. But this
Mhm.
guy at my job comes up, he's like, man, like, so your hair grew really fast. Like I was like, you saw me 2 weeks ago. You think my hair grew all of this in 2 weeks? And he's like, well, I was like, I said, yeah. He's like, well, I'm just asking, this is a safe space. And I was like, it is a safe space. So that's why I am letting you know that that is not thinking that you're doing.
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
like, because if you think logically, how am I going to grow 9 inches of hair in 2 weeks?
You're not.
I'm
You're
not.
not. It's not humanly possible.
So that was my last leg. And I just looked at him. I was like, come on, dude. Like, you
Mhm.
just got to do. He's like, well, I said, no, it is a safe space. And I believe in you enough to tell you, don't ask this question ever again to another Black woman. I need you to think. I need you to press through, use your brain, and go, is logically that something that can happen?
Wow. That is wild that we are in 2022 and people still do not understand
Because they don't care.
hair extensions.
They don't
They
care.
are widely used by every race, nationality, color, and creed in the world. Like, what?
It's because it's just I'm just convinced it's deciding to be ignorant.
Yes. So to me, those are the modern day remnants of white supremacy. Right? Like white supremacy is founded in people acting like they don't know the wrong that they are doing. Because if you knew that and you had to sit with that, what would happen? It might cause you to change. But if I sit with the gross realities of how I act, what I say, how I think, oh no, I can't do that because baby, I made up my mind. I am a racist. And I believe that other groups are right, baby. I believe I am a racist and other groups are limited based off the color of their skin. So to believe that, I cannot sit with anything that I might have done wrong or any types of thought that I may have that don't match the reality of the world. I feel like that is the modern day remnant of white supremacy. It is the intentional ignorance that still exists.
It is wild to me.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a question like that? I mean, thank God I don't get them as much, but maybe it's because, like, you know, you get to choose kind of who you're surrounded by. But unfortunately, like, I work in a setting where I am surrounded by like white men, very white men. So I get it still.
Yeah. Well, let's keep it focused on work. It's not necessarily a question for me, it's a theme. So I've had this mentor at Dell. When I first came in to work there, we met and we talked about things that I felt limited me in my career, or things like, what stereotypes do you think, you know, people, or biases people would project onto you? This is a white man who is my mentor asking me to expose this. And I'm like, whoa. One of the things that I expose is that Black women are often not seen as data and analytics experts. Black women are one of the most educated groups in the world, but it does not matter the degree, where you went to school, what the paperwork is. Someone walks into a room with you, they are projecting limitations on you based off of how you look. I've dealt with that with my Ivy League educated colleagues and then with myself, who just had a general, some college level of education, and it doesn't matter. They look at you the same. So I told him, you know, I want to be able to overcome that stereotype. Like, I really want you to help me be a great data storyteller, because I want to go into these white spaces, sit there and politely speak to the truth that is shown on whatever slide within the numbers, be able to challenge contradictory thoughts and feel like, oh, I own that space. I feel like that's something that we don't own yet. Our minds and our capacity of understanding things is consistently challenged. At the same time, we're sitting next to people we talked about who are willingly being ignorant themselves, but they're questioning our competence and our capabilities and our intelligence. So for me, that's been it, is I will walk into these rooms and these spaces, and I have been on very data-oriented teams, and I'll have people say, oh, well, who's going to take on building that dashboard, or who's going to take on doing the performance readout for programs that I own? Who else is going to do it? Me, honey, I'm going to do it. And yeah, that's been the main thing. And that's something recently that I've discussed too.
I love that. Question. Yeah. I don't have to say question for question. Sorry, I haven't done interviews in so long. It's crazy. How are you making space for yourself in this world?
Wow. Making space for myself has been a quest recently to really understand Black history. I don't feel like we can create a space if we don't really understand where we come from and what the challenges are that we still have to overcome. So instead of always being focused on the challenges and always like, oh, I got to make things better, like, we got to just understand, like, some challenges are just what they are. So does that striving help us create peace in our life? No. Does that striving towards changing everything fulfill us or give us joy each day? No. So by me taking space, it's learning about these things and then deciding where I want to push and pull. because this soft life, you've heard of this, the
I
soft life,
love soft
Erica.
life. Explain it.
I love
I
soft
love
life.
soft life.
So it has various definitions, but it aligns with the question you asked for me. So like it's just a natural correlation. I feel like for me, soft life is releasing myself from, like I said, the obligation to see everything that's a challenge and go fix that, or go change someone's thought process, or make it better, or lobby, or go to my PTA meetings and just bang people's doors down. Why do I, as a Black woman, have to assume all that responsibility? I don't. There are some things where God, I'm a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. There are some things where God is calling me to step in and be a change agent. But do I even own that? No, because I'm a vessel for him. So me owning my space is accepting that and finding ways to have joy in interim, finding ways to manage that push and pull. Where do I go? What do I need to do versus what I don't need to do that allows me to stay in the space of owning my peace? That's what I really care about owning. My space is peaceful, and that's where I'm going to stay. It's really a practice. I've not yet mastered it, but if someone were to come to me today and be like, Jessica, I have this problem, this and that, I would have to take a beat. And normally I wouldn't. I would go into fix it mode, right? Especially if it's for my fellow brother or sister.
Right.
Like, I want to help my other Black people succeed, but now I have to take a beat, because does that belong to me? Or does it belong to you and I can help you? Or do I have another resource to lead you to? Because my space that I own always has to be rooted in peace. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh, so I'm going to ask you a question because I believe it's something that everyone thinks about Black women. So I want to know if it's true for you. Can you dance?
Girl, I can twerk it, work it, dip it, twirl it, flip it, whatever you need, child. But
you're a dancer. Like
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, but I'm a dancer. I was a dance kid on the pom-pom squad in high school. Danced for a while in college. I was in a dance group at Texas State. Shout out to Harambe for my people watching this from Texas State. So yeah, I learned how to dance, and then I can mimic, because we talked about my sight. Like, when I see something, I'm like, oh, I can pick that up. Like, I can figure out how to do that. I'm big on sight. So, I mean, I wasn't twerking in ballet, but when I got to school and I needed to make it do what it did,
make that thing do what it do.
I mean, I watched, I observed, and I did it. But the whole Black people dancing thing brings me to Bojangles, minstrel show vibes.
Everyone thinks we can dance. I'm just saying, some of us, I don't know if we all feel like we can dance.
No, and it's okay to not be able to dance, because dance for who?
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever been to a white club and they start a circle around you?
Oh, it's the circle and the yes, get it, yes. Like, well, what if I don't know what I'm getting?
Next time I'm gonna rebel, and when the circle starts, I'm gonna do a terrible dance.
Do it.
Something that's just so awful, and I'm wondering if people will still support and cheer.
I mean, they will, because you're Black and you're putting on a show.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
I mean, it is, and you know me, Donna. I am a realist. I am going to just truth and love. I still got to master that. I have someone setting the example of that, trying to teach me. But I just got the truth right now. A lot of people just want to see Black folks put on a show still. So I believe you will get cheers from people that wanted to see what this Black person could do. And thank you for your attempt. And thank you for creating something that provided me joy and entertainment. I think that's the response.
So no matter what, I'm getting cheered on.
Yeah, some will cheer. I'm sure some will laugh and, pat you on the back, encourage you. But some people, we have to understand, some people are still cheering for us from that aspect. They don't care if we succeed or we fail, or we're good at the things that they stereotyped us at. They just care that, oh, I just checked off the box because I was entertained by a Black person this week. There are still people that exist that have that thought process.
Oh, wow, that dance question went dark.
I know. But we're bringing it back.
Yeah, we're going, we did it. So something that's specific to you is like, I saw you posted and like you talked about how your style is like a reflection of like your personality or like your different. So what is it about like fashion and the way that you dress and present that you feel communicates who you are to people?
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So I am not a very, I'm still working on this. Everybody's a work in progress. I just got to caveat that. I'm not a very openly expressive person. Growing up, I was really forced into situations where I could only express happiness or adaptability. I couldn't express anything else. Like either I am truly happy about this as an individual, or I am having to adapt to whatever the authority figures in my life said. Because if I show sadness or anger, I'm gonna get beat. I'm gonna get whooped. It's not gonna be a good situation. So it was happiness or just being adaptable. And so as an adult, I've struggled to express myself with my words and with my emotional responses. So like I can be so happy, like I could be ecstatic right now, and this is probably all you're gonna get. Like someone could call me today and be like, "Oh my God, you got $1 million." I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna go to AT&T and change my number, call my friends. But like, what? Think of the levels of excitement. I smile because someone told me a joke and that's funny versus I just won $1 million and it would be the same thing. But so because I'm not able to do that, it's like an inside battle that occurred within me as I was coming into my young adult years because I am a creative. So then if I can't express it in words, I can't express that creativity through my emotions, what is an outlet for me to show how I feel? Oh my gosh, today I feel phenomenal because I just won $1 million. Best believe my outfit is going to reflect that. Oh my gosh, I have this, date with somebody I'm really interested and excited about. My outfit's going to reflect that. Oh my goodness, I want to show up for my kids and, be the sports mom or whatever role I have to fill. It's going to be through fashion. So honestly, fashion has been my outlet to express myself because of that lack that I have emotionally with being able to just say those things or display those things.
How would you define being a Black woman? Like, what does it mean to be a Black woman?
To me, let's start with the bad first. I like, you can tell I kind of like getting the heavy out of the way so we can get back to the joy. But I don't want to overlook this because it is not always a joyful experience being a Black woman. I feel like innately, not because of who we are or what we think or what we do, but innately, there's always pressure. There's so much pressure. Look good, be good, do good, have a good household, have a good husband. Your kids need to be on the straight and narrow. You need to be a breadwinner just as much as the person in your household. You can't be a stay-at-home mom. What? You got to get out and go to work. You have to be the nurturer and pain holder for everyone around you. That is heavy. There's nothing that we do to create that. I think it's systemic. And again, we talked about remnants of white supremacy earlier. That's one of them too. Because if you think about the role that we played in the construct of slavery, it was all of those things that I just listed. But why are we now in 2022 having people not say that or force us directly into those positions? They're projecting that and letting their projections and also laws and bias push us as close to that line as we can sustain before we cry uncle. So it's very heavy being a Black woman in that aspect. But like I said, that's not about us. That's about them. That's projection. That's whatever. What I love about being a Black woman is look at this. What? The texture, the body, the variety. Oh my goodness. No one of us is the same. And that's what I love. I love being able to be an individual and be accepted and respected by my sisters. I love that now we live in a time where we encourage that. We love on each other. We push ourselves to just be who we want to be. That's what I love. I love the hair. I love the natural creativity we have for how we put ourselves together. Every Black woman I look at has some type of swag that's just their own. Like we just have the sauce, the secret sauce.
Okay, let's get into some gossip. What are your thoughts on Tristan Thompson?
Gossip. Oh, child. Tristan, you can't even call him third trimester Thompson anymore because people used to call him Tristan third trimester Thompson because of when he would cheat on Chloe. Like, I'm about to have a baby, or the previous baby mom, I'm about to have the baby, and then you go cheat.
Well,
She
babies
wasn't
are always
pregnant
involved.
this time.
Yeah, babies
Huh?
are always involved. Why do
But
you?
wait, but the person I'm talking about, his cheating patterns and how his partners have been pregnant at those times.
Well, I mean,
She
technically,
wasn't
a
even
baby.
pregnant this time.
True, but a baby was still involved.
On the other end.
Yeah.
So what I feel after doing my research, AKA watching the Kardashians on Hulu.
Oh my gosh, what were they like? Yes, come give it.
My thought on him, first of all, let's just call it like it is. He is a scumbag. He is the lowest of the low. And he could never come back on this side. I'm sorry. He could never come to a Black woman because he would have got his ass whooped. Like, let's just be honest. He would have gotten tore up, sent to his mama. If the mama was supporting him, she would have got it too, because a man will drive a woman crazy. Like, I am tired. I was just talking to a friend. I'm tired of this narrative that, like, when women respond to men, it is like, oh, it just came out of nowhere. She's crazy. No, look at what you did to drive her there. I'm a completely sane woman, but I can say I lost my mind a few times. But behind someone feeding you false promises of change, lying to you, holding secrets from you, and then you have no time to stop before you react. You have no time to think of a response. You were like, I just have to react because I'm sick of being disrespected. I'm sick of being hurt. So that's what would happen if he came on this side, but he's on that side. So I feel like those women make too many excuses for their children's fathers. They do. They enable the behavior. They enable the behavior and they call it forgiveness. Accountability can still be matched with forgiveness. And Tristan did not receive that last part. Otherwise, he wouldn't have continued to test the waters. I believe that new baby mom is not the only one that he was with. Like, there's probably other women who didn't get pregnant, or he asked quietly to get an abortion, because how does this man go to a birthday party paid for by the baby mom that you just cheated on, Chloe, then goes to Houston, sleeps with another woman the same time, like close to this big party where everybody's celebrating you, welcoming you into the family. Then you go cheat on her. Then at some point you found out that there was a out the way baby possibly coming, and you kept that. You hired attorneys. You entered the court process in Texas. You kept that. You were able to hide.
Yeah.
And keep all of that a secret. You are a disgusting individual who has never really been held accountable. And even if you did, I don't even believe the accountability would prompt any change, because you are accepted and forgiven instead of challenged to be better. That's what I got to say.
So you got to say, boom, drop the mic.
But don't come on this side, because he is getting whooped. It would be cousins, aunties, uncles, like what Black people, majority of us with the families that we have, we are loyal to each other and we care, especially about the women. More Black families are starting to rise up and really protect the women in their families, like protect their honor and make sure that we know no one can just come around and disrespect us. He would have a whole line of beatdowns waiting on him on this side.
Ooh. Tell me about an event in your life that has impacted you the most.
Donna.
Okay, well, we can skip it. You want me to go to a different question? Okay, wait, you want me to go to a different question and come back?
Yeah, let's bring it back.
Not Donna. Okay, here we go. What is something you wish you could tell people more? Fuck off.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
People, yeah, I wish I could just say, would you just shut up? Like, please. Because some people don't still understand the power and the value of a concept we've been talking about over and over, response versus a reaction. People still don't understand the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
I want to tell you to shut up, because maybe if I tell you to shut up, you won't react, you will think, and you will respond with kindness, with care, with concern, with compassion. Maybe you need to be told shut up because you believe that what you want to say is more valuable than understanding how the person receiving it is going to feel. We should feel okay. Like, I want to clarify that we should all feel comfortable with expressing our truth. But someone very wise in my life told me this thing that made me almost want to kick them out of my car on the road. I was driving, and when they said this to me, I was about to be like, you got to get out. You got to go. You know, when those things hit you and they convict you, and it's like, nope. So while we are owning the space of being able to speak our truth, here was the lesson that I learned. Everything that you say should be true, but not every truth should be said. So sometimes people need to shut up.
No, that's real.
That's it.
Okay, we're gonna play a quick game of marry, F, kill. I don't like those, what it's saying. So we'll say marry, become one, and send off to the Lord.
Marry, unite, and send to Jesus.
Yes.
Usher you.
Usher you.
Usher you to the Lord.
Yes. Hello. Okay. I'm gonna try 3 people. Okay, let's see. This is hard because I gotta know your taste. And okay, I'm gonna do like 3, which is like what everyone has. So Chris Evans. Okay, good. Okay. That's a little spark in your eyes.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan. Okay. And then let's do Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. And then what are the 3 that we're going with? We are
marry, unite, usher into the Lord.
Okay.
Usher into the Lord.
Oh my God. Oh,
it's hard.
That's hard. Like,
okay.
Wait. Hold on, because I got a thought coming. I'm just trying to put it together.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so I would marry Idris Elba because my fellow Virgo brother, we would get each other. We would overthink each other to death. We would be so supportive. We would be so loyal. We would be so supportive and loyal.
Each other to death.
We would overthink each other to death, but within that, we would be supportive of it, loyal, constantly pushing each other to be better, valuing hard work. It is hard to find someone who values and matches your work ethic, or who doesn't have the same work ethic as you and is okay with you maybe being a mover and shaker and they're kind of laying back. It is really hard to find that, but I think I would find that with Idris.
Okay. Who are you uniting with? And
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Chris Evans. I mean, what else? Captain America. Body yaddy yaddy.
Body yaddy yaddy yaddy.
Okay, charisma.
Yeah.
Charisma like oozes masculinity.
I recently got onto the Chris Evans train and I don't want to leave it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, like in the Black community where, you know, it's like a token of affection to your man, like oil their scalp or whatever. Chris, I will help you put whatever gel. I don't know what products white people really use in their hair, but like whatever you need.
Giving me Destiny Child. Let me cater to you.
Yeah, and he's a Gemini, so you could switch it up on me, baby, because I only want to unite. You're free to do whatever.
And yeah, we're gonna send Michael off to Off to be
And
praised.
Michael's got to go to the Lord. And the reason he's got to go like one way, like I would put him on the fastest escalator, like wherever that exists in the world, the
Wait,
fastest escalator up to the Lord. Just go, please. I don't think I would say goodbye. Wouldn't be no, oh, give me a hug.
are you over the Michael B. Jordan rage?
I've never been on him because
Oh,
I see him.
what do you see?
You're in entertainment. I'm not.
Okay.
But I think in every generation, people can pinpoint an actor who Hollywood tries to rise up as like a Black star for the people with a Black target audience who's not really for Black people.
Oh, you don't think he's for Black people?
I'm not saying he's not for Black people. I'm saying he's not for Black women. I really feel like this whole Lori Harvey thing was a contract because Michael ain't never dated nobody like that. He ain't never been. Remember, he had all the scandals with the Beckys on the boats and this and that. And his friend had to go on record to say that I forget what her name is. She owns some fashion company that's London based. And he was seen on a boat with her and everybody was like, oh my God. And one of his other Black friends was like, no, that's my white girlfriend.
Okay.
Okay. Go on to Jesus. Go on to Jesus. Because for me, it's not about like, don't put on the front for us. All right. Like, just don't do that. Like who you like, but still find a way to uplift the others. And I don't feel like a lot of Black men in power do a good job of that. I will respect you, love who you love.
Yeah.
But like still uplift, especially if you came out of a Black womb, you got to still find some way to make that part of like what you care about, uplifting Black women and making sure that like my sexual and romantic preference has no bearing on the fact that I still love Black women. A lot of people are bad at showing that duality.
What's something strange that you do that you don't think is strange, but other people are like, that's a little strange?
I have a bitter tooth. So if I'm like craving something at night, I'm not going to go for like, well, I love Oreos. Those are my favorite cookie, but I don't really like sweets all the time. So if I'm like, oh, let me grab a late night snack, I'm going to grab, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know if anybody else does this. It's not weird to me because it's delicious.
Yeah.
I will get a Granny Smith apple, like the sourest of the sour, and put apple cider vinegar on it and a little bit of salt and eat that. Wow. Yeah. As bitter as you can get, as sour as you can get. That's my weird like food thing.
Wow, that's really I think what's taking me out is the apple cider vinegar part.
Yeah. I don't know. It just like makes the flavor. ACV just enhances the flavor of whatever it touches. It just makes it stronger.
The shit is like eating away at your teeth as you like eat it.
I mean, I don't eat it often, and my teeth look, I've been getting teeth whitening treatments too. They're great. They're in good shape. But yeah, I don't think it's weird. But other people would be like, oh, if you're getting a snack, like, why isn't it something sweet? You know? Like,
I don't even listen. I'm okay with it not being anything sweet. I think you're thinking it's because it's not sweet. I think you don't realize the very specific description you gave. I've never heard of anyone describe apple cider vinegar as a treat.
What? Girl, don't sleep on it. It's great and it's healthy.
Yeah.
So it just checks so many boxes.
Oh my gosh.
I think my weird habit.
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, wait. Yeah. Let's see. I want to try all these questions. So let me see which ones I missed.
Because girl, I'm like weird habit.
Why did the tell me about an event in your life that impacted you the most have you like shift?
Because I've had a lot of impactful events in my life. So it's like, where do I start?
Which one do you
pick? I start with the first? Do I start with the latter? What do I do? Where do I start?
That's hard. So that's a hard question.
But I would say, okay, so maybe not the most impactful event because all these events share a common thread. Mm-hmm. The most impactful thing that has happened to me in my life is the countless times I have been abandoned, either physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever. I don't have one most impactful event. I have events that have happened that all center around folks just being like, no, you're not worth sticking around for. Let me just leave. Let me leave. Like, it's not worth it. Like, I can't handle it. I'm not willing to grow with you. And it's like, it makes you think like, who am I? Like, what am I doing so wrong that people don't want to stick around for me, that I am not afforded spaces to make mistakes? And I know God doesn't put a value on anything. Sin is sin. But you be looking like, did I really do that to warrant that? But it's like the people in my life that have left me at those times, they haven't had that stick and stay vibe that I know that I've needed and that I know that I deserve. I deserve people to stay around, to grow with me, to help me, to encourage me, to just be present in my life. I deserve that, but it just wasn't like that. And so what I have learned from those times, I mean, it was super hurtful, like younger. The first was my dad. Then it was my grandfather by death, which he had no control over, but that still felt like abandonment because he was the most solid person in my life. It was my biological father. It was my mother and my stepfather. It was my ex-husband. All those people have at some point left me in a state that I wasn't ready to be in and that I didn't deserve to be in alone. They've left me alone, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And so what I've learned through that is like, I was never okay with people coming and going because I think I had this very green perspective on what it meant to be in community with someone. I just thought when you find somebody, you're just forever, like friends, lovers, it's just forever. I don't know who told me that or displayed that to me, but that's just growing up, like what I thought it was supposed to be. And then as I worked to become a young adult, it just unraveled and unraveled to where it's like, no, you have to get used to, and I don't like using this like a season because a season could be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever. But you'd have to get used to people only being around until they're naturally supposed to expire. Like their alignment to you is naturally supposed to expire. You have to be okay with that. I wasn't, but I did build that muscle. And that last hurt with my ex-husband, that's what really did it for me. I realized that like, it doesn't matter. It could be your own parents. It could be your own lover. It could be a friend. It doesn't matter who it is. You got to be okay with things that are supposed to staying, and things and people that are not. You got to be okay with them leaving. So the most impactful thing that's happened to me is being abandoned, because now I don't care if you're with me or you're not, I'm still going to get the job done. And like, God's still going to provide. But I wouldn't have learned those lessons if I hadn't have gone through those hurtful scenarios.
How do you think being a Black woman has affected the way you see the world?
Yikes.
Not yikes.
And I don't, okay, wait, because if I say this and people hear it, they're going to think that like I'm a pessimist. I'm just a realist, right? Like because I'm a Black woman, I don't look at the world as the world is my oyster. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not one of those people that can say I wake up and I feel like, oh, if I wanted to be a rocket scientist, I mean, if I had a chance and I wanted to go back in history, that I could just do that. I think about my dreams, but then I also attach the realities of the barriers to my dreams. So although I said I'm confident and I'm fearless, what I'm telling you right now is I'm also a realist. I don't use those things to divert me from going to get what I want, but I have developed an understanding of what stands in my way if I want to accomplish something. And I think that is how I see the world as a Black woman. If I want to go do this today, based off the state of the world, what legally, what mentally, what would I have to do, sacrifice, or change to make that happen as a Black woman in this world? I have to think about those things. And like I said, it doesn't divert me. It helps me develop strategies. And it also helps me decide if it's worth it. for my peace.
Yeah.
If those things are worth it, like, I don't know how else to say it. It's not like I see the world as like this doomsday place. It's just now at 36 years old, I know what it is. Like, I see what's out here. And I want to make sure that my quality of life is not compromised because I want to chase something and people are standing against me. Like, there's some things I want to do and other things I'm like, no, it's not worth it, and it's fine.
You did talk about like you're at a place where you have a big confidence in yourself. How
Mhm.
did you get to that place, or when did that change happen, you feel? Or how long you've been standing in the place of like, I am confident in like who I am and what I have. I mean, I'm still dealing with obviously life in the world, but like more secure in like who Jessica is.
It was after that last impactful event. I
Yeah.
had to figure it out. Like, what if I didn't live another day with a partner in my life? Like, what if I never had that? Would that mean that I'm a bad person? Would that mean that I'm not deserving of love? Like, what does that mean for me? Am I not a sustainable human being without someone else's presence or someone else's validation? That's what did it for me, because I realized, and you don't really realize these things until you come out of it. I never saw myself as a codependent person, but I was a codependent person. And so a lot of what I did was based off of praise that I would get from the people in my life who I cared about, i.e., parents or significant other, not necessarily friends. I love when my friends encourage me, and I think that's great. But like, whether they did or didn't, it didn't matter. What mattered was having that validation from my parents and my spouse. And so then when I'm left without that, like, was I ever really confident? I don't know. I think I was confident because of what I was getting in return. So then I became aware of my performative nature. You know, when people like get a rise or like an endorphin rush out of like someone not giving you what you need, and you're just going to chase them down to get it, you're going to perform until you hit that mark with them, until they say what you want them to say or they react the way that you want them to. I was a great performer. I would really do a lot of things to generate the return that I wanted. And then that return subsequently became what I felt like was confidence. But then in the past 2 years of not being attached to anyone in that way, not really having community be close because of the pandemic or whatever else, you know, people are still really reserved about going out and stuff. And I understand that. But like, it forced me to just be okay with myself. Like, I didn't have any other choice. Either I'm going to be okay with myself, or I'm not going to be here in this world. That was literally, I remember a year ago, I was in a situation, and that was literally a thought that crossed my mind. Like, I got to be okay with me and assured that I can make decisions that are best for me and feel good no matter the outcome, just because I'm me and I did it, or I just need to go see Jesus. Like, that was it. Those are only two options. Because who's here with me at night? Nobody. I'm here with myself, my kids and my dog, and possibly a cat. Possibly a cat that one of the kids is bringing home. I don't know. But there's no partner here. I don't have a relationship with my parents and haven't for almost a decade. Who is here but me? I have to master that. I have to get that, or there's nothing here for me to live for. And so I had to make that choice, that decision. And that's where my confidence rose up from. I was like, okay, the first thing I need to do to build confidence is actually make decisions without asking anybody. Don't talk to anybody. Don't say anything. Just do it. And I made a lot of personal decisions, and won some, lost some, succeeded sometimes, failed sometimes. But I would cry on my own and talk to my therapist, of course. I would cry on my own. I would deal with the synthesis of what went wrong, what went right, all on my own, all on my own. And that was probably the first time that I've done that in my entire life. I started doing that last year. So now when I say I'm confident, oh my God, I'm confident because I made 3 decisions today. 2 were great, 1 wasn't. But whatever, I made them, and I'm confident that no matter the outcome, I'm either going to learn or I'm going to propel myself forward. And those are the only 2 options. I'm going to learn, I'm going to propel myself forward. But the confidence is that I'm never going to fail because I've already tried and been battle tested in this thing. Like, there's no way I can go down.